This brief demonstration from First Option Mortgage will show you how to print web pages to a PDF while including the site's URL using some common web browsers out there today. The chief reason why we would even ask this of our clients is to comply with federal rules regarding asset documentation, specifically for banking transaction histories. So, in a real circumstance, we would ask a client to go navigate to their banking website and pull a transaction history. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to use the Google homepage. But if you're doing this for real, you would go to the transaction history that we've asked you to get for the date range that we've asked of you, and you would follow these steps once you reach that specific web page. So in Google Chrome, you would go to that web page, hit Control P for print, and you would select the PDF as the destination. Under More Settings, you would come down to the bottom, and this option that says Headers and Footers must be enabled. So right now, you can see in my print preview, if I zoom in a little bit, that there's no header at the top, and then at the bottom, there's no URL. So if I printed a banking transaction history like this, it wouldn't really be usable. Instead, I need to enable this Headers and Footers option. So now you see at the very bottom, I've actually got the complete URL of the website. In my test here, it just says google.com, but in a real circumstance, it might say bankofamerica.com / and a whole bunch of other details specific to your account at that institution. That's really what we're asking for when we ask for a transaction history with a complete URL. So we'll go ahead and demonstrate a different browser. This here is Internet Explorer. To enable the option on this one, you would go up here to the Tools bar, you would go into the Print menu, and hit Print Preview. Once you're in the Print Preview, you would go to the Page Setup, and you would have the option to specify your header and footer as well. So if there wasn't any header and footer, it would look like this. And again, at the top you can see there's no header. At the bottom you can see there's no URL. So if you see that this is the case, you would go into these tools, and in the footer you could choose the URL, hit OK, and now you see at the very bottom that the URL actually appears. In Internet Explorer you could also try to put the URL on the top even. So it would appear at the very top of the page instead. Either way is completely fine as long as that URL is on the actual page before you print it. For the next example, we're going to go with a more modern browser than Internet Explorer. This is Microsoft Edge. So very similar, you're going to navigate to the page, you're going to hit Control P for print, and then at the bottom of your preview, you don't see any URL. So instead, you're going to choose Headers and Footers on. Now, you've got the title at the top, you've got the URL at the bottom. You would go ahead and print this page if you were on your banking transaction history and you saw the URL at the very bottom there. Now, I don't have a live example for Safari, but I did find this online. This pretty much shows you what the print menu would look like if you were using Apple's version of an internet browser, Safari. So essentially you would go into their print menu, and I don't believe it's called Control, I think it's Apple P for print, and you would enable the option that you see right here for headers and footers if you happen to be using Safari to print this kind of document. So I hope this brief demonstration helped. I know this gets a little bit confusing. Some people don't always understand how to print the headers and footers with the URL, and it can be a little bit frustrating. But hopefully after seeing this video, you're pretty clear on what to do. If you have any further questions, please reach out to your loan officer. Thank you.